I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. I want to fly like an eagle. Let my spirit carry me. Eagles are members of the family Accipitridee, and the term eagle isn't a specific species genus kind of thing. Basically, eagles are any large bird of prey that specializes in hunting medium to large sized vertebrates, essentially. There's a lot of different types of birds of prey that would be considered eagles. Most of them are in the Aquila genus, that's the true eagles, but other eagles like harpy eagles, snake eagles are out with that. And while not all eagles are that closely related, they all pretty much have the same kind of body shape. They're all really big birds of prey with really wide wingspans, really strong, powerful, intimidating talons, and these really sharp hooked beaks. I'd say there are basically two types of niches among eagles. Those that are terrestrial and hunt more land-based prey, things like rodents, small herbivores, like goats, deer, monkeys in tropical environments, and those that are more aquatic based, the kind of fish eagles, things like bald eagles and fish eagles and sea eagles that, generally hunt fish, among other things. But the main overlapping thing about eagles is that they're all really big, powerful, impressive birds of prey. They're all apex predators. There's nothing else in the sky that will take on an eagle, really, apart from another eagle. Nothing else hunts them. Their only threat is us, and I'll get to that. And eagles have been found all over the world, pretty much everywhere apart from Antarctica. You find eagles, so pretty much wherever we went in our history, we found eagles. And I think eagles have always meant a lot to us. We've kind of revered them in a way, kind of like lions. We've had a lot of respect for eagles, and I think that's because by and large they're the biggest and most impressive things in the sky. For most humans throughout history, the eagle has kind of been seen as the master of the sky, the true lord of the air. And eagles have popped up quite a lot in human mythology, going way back to the Greeks. Zeus was commonly associated with eagles. Sometimes he would become an eagle to go down to earth to bring people back to Olympus. Again, he was the king of the gods, so it makes sense that the most powerful bird in the sky was his symbol. And in various other religions, everything from Christianity, where they're associated with the Gospel of St. John, to Aboriginal religions, eagles appear in quite a lot of religions. And I think for most people throughout history, eagles have been a symbol of power and might. Many militaristic nations have adopted the eagle as a symbol. The Romans are probably the most famous one. The eagle was the symbol of the Roman Empire. They would carry an eagle standard into battle with them. To lose that would be seen as a great shame. And various other empires have used eagles as a symbol over the years. Napoleon, he had an eagle as a symbol. Eagles were pretty common in Germany for a long time. That was later adopted by the Nazis as their secondary symbol after their swastika. And when the United States of America first emerged as a nation, they chose the bald eagle to be their symbol. Again, a symbol of power and might, something that symbolised the optimism these people had that their new nation was going to flourish. So eagles have been adopted as a symbol of power and might for quite a long time, and that will only continue, I suspect. Even in modern day pop culture, eagles are generally looked on quite favourably. There's not too many instances of eagles being portrayed in a negative light, kind of similar to lions. It's kind of weird because they're apex predators, but because we've got such an admiration for them, we do tend to look upon them quite favourably. The most famous ones in pop culture I can think of are the eagles in Tolkien's Middle-earth. They're almost a deus ex machina, in that they'll always come in at the end and save our heroes, usually during some big battle. And I think the fact that Tolkien was so heavily inspired by Christianity, I think it's pretty easy to see why he chose them to symbolise the sort of really powerful good side. I think when you see an eagle in the sky, it is quite an impressive thing. Even if you're not interested in animals, I think it's hard to walk past like this really big bird and not go, well, that is a really impressive bird. Despite that, eagles have come under threat over the years. Eagles do clash with people on occasion, especially regarding livestock. When they reintroduced white-tailed eagles to Scotland, there was a big uproar in the west of Scotland about farmers thinking the eagles were going to take their sheep. And, some eagles did take some sheep, but the issue was kind of blown out of proportion, I think, a bit. And eagles are also victims of raptor persecution. That obviously still happens. And for a long time, one of the biggest threats to eagles was actually pesticides. So when DDT was used, eagles were pretty negatively affected by that. Because these toxins build up the further up the food chain you go, and because eagles are the apex predators, many eagles had quite a high level of toxins in their body, and this was actually impacting their ability to carry young. A lot of their eggs weren't viable, and this significantly reduced the number of bald eagles in North America, which is kind of ironic because bald eagles are the symbol of America, the most powerful nation in the world. The fact that they were actually killing their own symbol is kind of ironic, but ultimately people did realise the negative effects of it, and they did stop using it, and eagles, especially bald eagles, have made a comeback in America, which is good. And eagles around the world are making a comeback, I think because people like them, and people will make more of an effort to protect them and conserve them. Eagles also bring in quite a lot of tourism. Here in Scotland, since they brought the white-tailed eagles back, a lot of people like to go and look at them. And again, because Britain's a country that doesn't have a huge amount of really impressive wildlife, eagles are probably the most impressive animals we have. So, I think we should be looking after them. And eagles are really heavily protected animals as well. I think if you're going to build a development in Britain, an eagle nesting on the site you plan to build on is probably the only thing ecologically I think that could actually kill the site. Like, there's no real way of working around that because they're so heavily protected. So I think ultimately, while we've obviously caused a lot of bother for eagles, we have kind of learned from that, and we are, starting to, protect them and realize they actually have a benefit for us because people will come and look at them. So yeah, to summarize, eagles are really impressive animals. They're the most impressive birds in the sky, really. I think that's the reason we've mythologized them so much. Most of our more powerful deities have been symbolized by eagles, and again, eagles have also been the symbols of some of the most powerful empires through history. Everyone from the Romans to the United States have chosen to take them on as a symbol. Despite that, we've still clashed with them, we've still persecuted them, while we've caused them a lot of bother, and we have learned from that. There is still a long way to go to fully protecting the eagles, I think. Ultimately, we can benefit from them, and also we just like having them around. So yeah, the eagles are really cool. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. Have you got any eagle stories? I've seen eagles a few times over the years, whether in North America, Britain, or Africa. Like, I've seen eagles pretty much everywhere I've gone. And they are, all pretty impressive animals. So yeah, let me know if you've seen any eagles. And yeah, as ever, feel free to let me know in the comments below what you'd like me to talk about next. Any other animals, as I say, I've got a list, but if you give me recommendations, it's always welcome. And yeah, as ever, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Or don't if you don't want to, it's perfectly fine. And I'll see you next time, and goodbye.